So on today's episode of Garbage to Garage, we're going to be taking this Milwaukee Sawzall, the broken lever here to unlock the bits. We're going to first try to take this thing apart. I've already gotten the blade guide, stop, whatever you want to call it, thing out, and the pin for it. This right here, I was able to just pull it apart, it popped apart, pull it out of that hole. That slid right out of the front with a little persuasion. This thing's really dirty and rusty. It's been used in the dirt doing a lot of plumbing. So it was discarded because this blade lock right here is broken, so it doesn't catch out here, and it also doesn't catch the inside here. So we'll go ahead and start getting this taken apart more than just that, and that's going to require trying to slide this boot off. Let's get that boot off there, we'll get that cleaned up. And then we got a, how does this thing come off of here? We'll get this top rib off, but it looks like first we might separate the grip from the metal housing. So I'm gonna find the right size bit for that. Looks like a T15, T20. So we found the appropriate size. We can get these out. Looks like we got some electrical running up right there. So, oh, because there's a flashlight on the front. I don't know if you can see that right there. So we're gonna have to split the rear side of the case. Looks like we have to take that off as well. So that wasn't a ridge seam thing there. I was expecting that to be like driven on the top to hold that top together, but that was not it. And taking that off reveals two more. And that looks like it should let us split the case. Almost feels like it wants to let me just take it out right here. Oh, there's a spring on it too. Hadn't seen that. A spring right there. Right on this edge here. So we got a couple more to take out here. The entire thing might want to come out together. So it's just two more, the back of here, here, and here. Only thing really left is to look in this one. So that would be that would hold an entire assembly in there. All right, so game plan here is to just cram this rag in here, and that'll drive that down as long as we're all going the same direction here. And it just ate it. Let's rag. Really soft to mess up. In. Oh joy, and we're stripping it out because my bit was already jacked and it's a security bit, so it sucks. And it's from the cheap store. All right, so instead of trying to tear that out, I guess we're gonna keep fighting it on this side and just see if we can get this out of here at all. Got the spring all the way out. Little side goes on the hook here, routing it all the way around and through, just set in there like that. So after a little bit of wrestling, we got this down to the lowest position right here, and I was able to push out just enough to get that ear to come out from inside there. So now what we're going to do is try to clean everything best we can, make sure this mechanism is moving right, because that's probably partially what caused that inside to shear off right there. You can see there's a nub right there. There's nothing but burn up plastic over here. So we're going to get all this cleaned, get our new part right here, and we'll try to get the whole thing put back together. So the overall look pretty similar. They got an upgraded little push, like thumb lever here, and then these cam locks inside, or these blocks, whatever you want to call them. These ones are tapered and pretty small. Focus. Focus. And these ones are much, much larger. So now that seems like it's going to be more of a pain to fight this one on. But we got the mechanism freed up in here. I'm going to try to get that back down in there. Oh yes. And right in there it goes. Kind of see how I got that out of there now. We have to get this in down at this angle down here. All right, that seems to be more right now. Yep, that'll catch and engage now. So while I was forcing that this down in, came in there with the flathead, grabbed a little tab in there. I don't know if you can see that in the light, and spun that collar. And that allowed it enough to get past the cams and lock in there. So now to try to get that spring back on, which looks way worse to do now. Maybe. So I'm able to just lean that out. Roll that through. The spring has that little pin on the end of it right there. I think that is supposed to sit out this little hole right here, which you can see down in there. So I'm gonna grab some old needle nose and try to get that down in there. All right, get that flash turned on there, see if that'll help. There it is. A little bit of fighting, it's down in there. It's locked in the backside right there. You can barely see it. I'm gonna add some more grease into here and we'll get to reassembling. So a much heavier grease is probably gonna be recommended because this stuff is pretty thick. But I got red and tacky, that's about it. So guess what's going in there? Red and tacky. Oh, before I get too far ahead of myself, gotta put all these screws back in. Oh, we missed a screw right there too. That whole time I thought that was a pin. That might have helped us out along the way. That is another Torx. That could have been the savior right there. Nope. Other side of the case, there's some more grease in there. There we go, and that is functioning just like it should. That is awesome. Get these screws in, give the outside of this case a little wire brush. Well, that one holds down a light, so we'll hold that one out. And then those two, I think, are actually these two. So let me get these other ones started. Yeah, I guess that doesn't contact that, so that one can go in. Gonna give this quick, just a little wire brush, get all the extra dirt out of there since we're trying to clean it up, and we'll start getting the other parts put on. So while I got all the plastics and rubbers and taken off, I'm gonna go ahead and strip all the components out of here. That one's gonna be a hard one to wash, unless I can get this connector through everything. That's a little ground wire that goes back here. That's why that's not on yet. So we'll get that through first, maybe. Oh, that came right out. And that came right out, cool. So I'm gonna take these in, wash them all up, get the this stripped. So there's your light right there. Don't know if it works or not. But, everything should just pop right out of here. There we go. All right, so we've got everything relatively cleaned up here, and we're getting this put back together. We fished these two wires through here, got all the electronics seated back in, tucked down to their spots, I think. So now what we're left to do is get the reciprocating part back in. So this is your motor, and this I put it back in off camera. I kind of forgot to film that, so that just gets pushed back down in there. Those two screws set back in. Make sure you don't have any debris on here. This is your permanent magnet, is this part right here. So it's gonna try to fight you going into this. That goes back there. And that gets screwed in right there. And then this should all tuck in right up here. And we're just going to line up, that's just run it backwards until you feel that pop, see it drop. That way you know you're catching the same thread again. Backwards. Get this stuff routed back where it goes. And that looks good. So might as well just throw these in. Now, close that one in. Just like the screws right to this right over here. Start to question where I got those two screws from, because I'm not really seeing many places those are going to go. Ooh. Right there and right there. That's where they went. Alright, so just getting these routed. Get the light plug back in. So it's got a little notch it sits down into right there to hold each side of the plug so it can't separate. Now I gotta figure out why this whole plug assembly doesn't want to drop into place. Or battery assembly, I should say. There it is, mostly. There we go. So the ribbon cable's got little slots it goes into. And then the battery wiring's got wider notches it goes into. And the short screw goes next to the trigger. So looking at this, just noticing that this hole is not lined up right. So unless I can pry this a little bit to to make it line up better. Which I was able to. I was thinking I might have to loosen these two. So I didn't get it perfectly cleaned, but it is definitely better than it used to be. Get this cleaned up real quick, and the ladder hook, and wherever I lost that pin at. Found the pin. And there we are. Let's throw a battery in it real quick here. Light works, reciprocating works. Got an old blade here. Lock works. Sweet. It's all fixed. And so for just a little over an hour of work into what we got out of the trash, we were able to make a fully functional Sawzall. Just for reference, here's the 2720-20 category number, and we replaced the barrel cam 31-11-0106, which is this guy right here. And so for an $8 part, we were able to repair a $250 Sawzall that we now have in our collection of tools.